Toronto FC become the first club to punch their ticket to the Audi 2017 MLS Cup Playoffs with a dominant 4-0 win over the San Jose Earthquakes at BMO Field. This is After 90 Minutes presented by Kia. No Caroline, so it's Gareth Wheeler alongside an even better looking Stephen Caldwell. Look, there isn't looking much better than Toronto FC did today, Stephen. Thoroughly dominant throughout. They completed 826 matches on the game. It was really one-way traffic throughout.
Absolutely one-way traffic. I felt like San Jose did okay in the early stages, Gareth, but once TFC got that goal through Victor Vasquez, big error from Tarbell, completely dominant performance. To have that number of passes is staggering, and it shows you the domination this team has. They're beating teams in the tunnel, in my opinion, and the way that they make this pitch so big, they space the players so well, and then they're so ruthless when they get in position. It's just a dominant performance yet again here at BMO Field.
You used the word ruthless, which is so key because it's like they smell blood in the water and they just attack. As soon as they find that perceived weakness, they just jump over it. Steve, this isn't just 5 wins in a row, it's 5 games in a row where they've scored 3 goals or more. You don't see that very often at all in the world game, do you?
No, and domination's really the word. It's domination in a number of different areas. It's through possession, it's through quality, it's obviously through finishing. Defending's absolutely awesome as well. And everybody's stepping up. It's not the same guys you're relying on. Your guys come off the bench today. Azorio again on the back of that great performance for Canada. Wonderful goal, really slipped into play. Bradley I thought was magnificent yet again. He had a tough couple of international games. The energy that he has in the middle part is so crucial. And Vasquez, just once he gets that space, he picks his head up with the striker ammunition that he has up top there. Just incredible. And again, it just shows you how far ahead they are of the rest, and they just have to keep it up, keep that motivation, and I'm sure they'll just keep going from strength to strength.
The head coach, Greg Van, he's still trying to keep some perspective, play it down a little bit, but even he's somewhat surprised about just how dominant his team has been.
We've come a long way. I mean, to be fair and frank, we were sitting on the bench talking to each other about our last year performance against San Jose, where we were up 2 men and we couldn't really create a chance, and we ended up losing that game, if I recall. And fast forward, a year later, we were pretty good at creating chances, pretty good at moving the pieces around, and I think we've improved immensely in a year. So I think we've made a lot of progress, both in terms of the quality of our soccer, obviously, our understanding of what we're trying to do out on the field as a group collectively, and we've got a lot of different ways that we can go about winning games.
Stephen, some standout performances today as well. I thought Stephen Badisher was great on the day, 2 assists in his first start since lacerating his pancreas. It's even crazy to say that back on June 27th. I thought he did very well today.
I thought he was terrific, Gareth. I completely agree, and I felt like TFC used him more today, and other times he's out there, he's in good position, he doesn't get as much service, but when he got on the ball, he really used it well. A couple of great little cutback balls, really dominant display by him, and credit to him, he was out a long time, such an unfortunate injury, so to come back in, get his opportunity, he certainly grasped it tonight.
Another goal and another assist for Victor Vasquez. In fairness, he was gifted the first goal, some poor goalkeeping, but then sets up another goal a little bit later on. Josie Altidore gets it, textbook finish, his MLS leading 15th assist on the year. Really
interesting performance from Victor Vasquez, because Tommy Thompson was marking him really well early on, and Vasquez had the decision to make. Of course, the intelligence that he has as a player, he drifted wide, he started to come inside, creating some different positions, not in that inside left role that we're used to seeing him in, caused San Jose all sorts of problems, didn't know who should pick him up. Serin was trying to get near him, and in the end he gets too much space, and as we've seen before, when he gets that space, he's clinical, finds the passes, Altidore right on a play, scores the second goal.
Well, Altidore was phenomenal in terms of his finish as well, a headed goal, then he just left the field after that. The good news, it just feels like it was tightening up a little bit, but Altidore now up to 13 goals on the year, not bad when your 2 strikers put up 28 goals combined on the season.
Yeah, phenomenal. Great partnership they have as well. Javinko leaving the field at half-time, but Altidore staying on to what must have been just after the hour mark. Again, dominant display by him, showing yet again when they get into positions that they're normally very clinical and ruthless. What I liked about Altidore's performance was the way he was working the channels. San Jose in the first 20 minutes sitting rather deep, but the fullbacks were then stepping in. They were almost going man for man in a lot of TFC players. Altidore then sensing that, having the intelligence, moving into wide areas. Morrow with the intelligence to then make central runs. He almost got in the end of one in the first half. The movement, the fluidity of this team there for everybody to see, and it's difficult just to mark every single one of them.
Altidore now up to 50 goals in MLS play. Shout out to Jonathan Osorio, scored for Canada last Saturday at BMO Field, scores again here for TFC tonight. And Alex Bono ties a club record in terms of clean sheets in a season with 8. He equals the mark set by Stephen Fry. But honestly, tonight he could have had a cup of tea back there. Not much to do with the best view of the park.
Not a lot to do at all. He wasn't even on the ball a lot like the previous game where he was a lot of ball at his feet. Tonight, not a lot to do. Had to just stay concentrated, make sure he did the things well. Another evolution in his game is a way that he can now concentrate. He really has a confidence. You can see it in his play. He is clearly the number one just now, ahead of Clint Irwin, and he deserves that accolade. But he does dominant display. Defenders in front of him. Mavinga yet again stepping into things. Zavaleta looks more assured every single game. We could go on and on about every single player. Just a terrific performance by TFC.
And Bono knows, you know, that record is his, but it really goes down and chalks it up to a team performance.
And you guys have heard me say it before, and I'm going to say it every time that we get one, that shutouts are a stat they put on a goalkeeper, but especially in days like today, I had very little to do with that shutout. So obviously, especially the front three in front of me and the guys all the way up to defending with the forwards, they're crucial whenever the team gets a shutout, and it really is a team stat. And so we as a team have tied that record, and you know, we're going to try and break it in the next few.
The win today was another record-setting performance for Toronto FC, most home points in a season, Stephen. And we're getting to that point where there's just 3 regular season games left. You just wonder if they can remain undefeated on the season in BMO Field. It's just been such an improvement this year.
Yeah, the way they're playing here, you have to expect that. Although they're playing against some very difficult teams, obviously they're their main rivals in Montreal Impact twice. The Red Bulls are always a difficult task for TFC, but the way they're playing at BMO Field, the way they make this pitch so big, their spacing is absolutely terrific as well, and you can tell they have that confidence. They have a sold out crowd. It's going to be like that till the end of the season behind them, so you fully expect them to do that, and I actually even expect them to break that 68-point mark. Just the way they're playing, I can't expect them losing 2 or 3 games again this season.
It's great on the field, it's great off the field. As you mentioned, a sellout, 6 consecutive sellouts, 29,050 people, and it was Armed Forces Appreciation Day. There was just a great vibe inside of BMO Field all match long, so this winning thing's fun, Stephen. It's not bad.
Well, long may it continue for this team. They have to just keep their feet in the ground, obviously. The end goals MLS Cup is doing very well in the playoffs. Yes, there's Supporter Shield, a points total in between them, but this team has to win MLS Cup. That's the most important thing for this team. That's what they want. You can tell that by their performances. They have to just keep their eye on the goal.
They'll be back in a week and a half here at BMO Field next week, and the trip to the West Coast to take on the Los Angeles Galaxy at 10:30 kickoff on TSN and TSN 1050.